Specifically for new people, I suppose what we hear as issues for folks that are graduating over the last 3 or 4 years is the change in the job market a little bit. I think probably that's the first thing you hear when I go on campus to recruit, which I still do. I think that's probably the first thing that you hear. The one thing I see that students have changed over that time period is they have changed the way they look at the recruiting process or the process of looking for positions. So I suppose that's probably it. It's more difficult today to get the job you want in the location you want. So what does that mean? The job you want. So do you want in community pharmacy? Do you want in total clinical practice? Do you want in a particular hospital? It's certainly more difficult today to find those positions that match all those things. Having said that, there are still plenty of positions for pharmacists across the country, and I think as graduates, you have to decide you have to set your priorities, and you have to determine what matters to you today. If you have to stay in this particular area because you have a family commitment or a spouse or significant other that has to be in that area, and financially it doesn't make sense to move to another area, then you have to do that, and you make the best of it. You take the part-time job, you take whatever it is to start with and work your way into the job you want. Conversely, if it's the type of job you want, you go wherever that job is, and I think you can work through it. So I think that's probably the first thing that I think new graduates face as an issue. I think probably too, when you look at who controls the jobs in pharmacy today. Many times it's big corporations, whether it's hospital or community pharmacy, and the perhaps feeling that you don't have a say or you have a voice, or it's all the company telling you what to do. And I don't think that's different today than it has been over the years, and I think the individuals that have ideas and have want to have input, you share that input, you give that input, and having been in the corporate role and in the office when we would make decisions, whether it was clinical programs or the new software for the processing of prescriptions, the information that came to us from the field was probably the most important. And the folks that put that innovation into practice were brilliant and did great jobs. But I think without that input from the field, they would have never made those decisions. So I think oftentimes we look at, I don't have an opportunity to have input, I don't have an opportunity to make a difference when I work for a big company, but I think that's a perception that isn't really there. I think it's slow. When you have a big company, it doesn't happen tomorrow like it does in your own pharmacy. If I want to change something in my own pharmacy, I change it tomorrow. But those opportunities are still there, and I think sometimes the perception is I can't make a difference in a big company. And I think when I look at it today, the young pharmacist that's willing to make the statement, to make their point heard, to step forward and say, hey, I'll be involved with that, has an opportunity to move up quickly or make a difference quickly. Because there's a lot of folks that are very willing to come in and do their practice, work their shift, and leave, and not try and make a difference and not try and have that input. So I think there's a great opportunity, actually. When I look at the recent graduates I have over the last 2 or 3 years, I have some that have done some great things. They're going to be my boss someday.